All right, finally this hour on this busy Friday, it means it's time for Can't Miss List.
Yeah, look at all the films, shows, and songs that you need to see and hear this weekend.
We are joined by our friend, entertainment journalist, pop culture expert, friend of the show, Brian Balthazar. Hey. Brian, we love when you're here for this. Great to have you.
Good to see you.
Okay, we got to start with Karate
Yes,
Kid.
right. Okay, so interestingly, this is kind of a combination of the original and the 2010 remake stories kind of merged into a new one. Interestingly, you know, we're seeing a lot of this. 34 films this year are either prequels, sequels, remakes, or some kind of reiteration of existing IP. So this is going to be a good one, though. We're expected to see about 25 to 30 million come in for this for the box office. You can't do this film without Ralph Macchio.
No.
Jackie Chan is in this also, who got injured and persevered and kept shooting anyway, because that's what you do when you're Jackie Chan.
Jeez,
Hopefully we'll
really?
see the crane, right?
Right.
It's like,
Yes, I'm sure they have to work that in. It's a travesty if they don't. It's about a young kung fu prodigy, karate, I should say, prodigy who then comes to the U.S. and, you know, overcomes adversity.
All right, that'll be a big one. All right, so after decades of praise for Jane Austen, we now have something called Jane Austen Wrecked My Life. It's a rom-com, right?
This is so great. Yeah, you watch this trailer and you're like, I remember when we used to make movies like this. I love this. It's about a young woman who works at a bookstore,
what a great way to put it.
right? And she's a writer, and her friend secretly enrolls her in this Jane Austen writing residency, and she gets in, and then, of course, love unfolds, but it's not that simple. There's going to be a love triangle, some awkwardness, but it's beautiful. It's in French and English, a little bit of subtitles. Really beautiful story. I'm really looking forward to this one. Limited release right now, but then it's going to go wide.
Also, if there's the subtitles, it means you have to put your phone down and pay attention. I like when that happens.
Exactly.
Okay, if you're staying in, let's talk some streaming stuff, especially with all the rain here.
Yeah.
Steve Carell,
Yes.
Mountainhead, is that right?
Yes.
This is called?
Yeah, this is from the director of Succession. This is actually his feature film debut as a director. And it's interesting because it's a bunch of tech people who go to this crazy kind of fortress on the top of a ski mountain. Kind of reminds you of the last season of Succession when you think about it.
Cool.
Yeah. And there's this sort of global financial crisis. They're all up there, all of these tech whizzes that are gazillionaires, and then their secrets start to unfold. There's a little bit of an AI play into this storyline and maybe some responsibility on the part of some of these tech whizzes. I think this is going to be interesting, and it's interesting to see Steve Carell in a non-comedy role.
I'm sure they're all great people, too.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Wouldn't make much of a movie,
All right.
would it?
No one does a murder mystery like the British.
It's true.
This one's called Death Valley.
Okay, this is interesting. This is the story of a man who was a TV detective.
Okay.
Now he's older, and a real detective enlists his help in solving a crime. But of course, the detective can't really tell her peers that, oh yeah, I'm using this old TV detective. And there's an interesting backstory to the TV detective of why he suddenly kind of like reboots his life a little bit, because he's been kind of mourning the loss of his family member of his family. But it's interesting British comedy. We love crime solving. You can't go wrong with this.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm really excited about the next one. I didn't even realize it's time already. And just like that, the Sex and the City's come up. It's back.
Just like that, it's back.
Yes. Okay, so Carrie is back in new digs, which we saw some of last year. She's now writing fiction. Possibly a new love interest. We see that Patti LuPone and Rosie O'Donnell will be making an appearance. Rosie O'Donnell, it's rumored, her character might have been like a one-night stand with Miranda, and we're going to see if that's like a one-off or if there's a recurring character thing happening.
There's rats, apparently.
There's rats and over-the-top...
New York.
Over-the-top costumery.
Yeah.
Look at that, like as you would walking down Manhattan Street.
Extremely unrealistic apartment, like in terms of what that thing would cost.
It is a fantasy. It is a fantasy film. It is no different than Lord of the Rings. You watch and be like, this could happen.
But she's rich now. It's okay. Now it makes sense.
No,
All right.
yeah, maybe.
Okay, you two fans, we got like 40 seconds left here. We have two music headlines, essentially, but one is Bono and a documentary about him.
Yes, this is interesting. Stories of Surrender on Apple Plus. It's basically his show, singing his songs, but telling the stories behind the stories. You have a Bono savant here right in-house, in Chris LeClaire, one of your producers. He can tell you everything you need to know.
Okay.
But you guys should watch it on Apple Plus. Really great storytelling. This is the photography we've come to expect from you two, and Bono too, by the way. And it's just really heartfelt, taken from, I think, the Beacon Theater, some of his shows at the Beacon Theater.
Last thing is just an announcement, because we're out of time. Miley Cyrus, new album,
music.
awesome. Brian, we love you.
She keeps getting better. That's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Don't go anywhere. The news continues right now.